A new week and more preservation and prep projects. Some of this food will be preserved and some of it will just be prepped to be used throughout the week and through the month. So let's go over what we have a little bit. Also, for those of you who've been asking about why I've stopped doing the grocery hauls, because I buy the same things week after week after week, it just doesn't get as many views, and that's okay. I understand. It's sort of boring. Grocery shopping is not my favorite thing to do. But everybody did seem to like when I did what kind of fresh things that I'm going to be putting up to use for the week or for the next 2 weeks, and what I'm going to be preserving and how I'm going to utilize those things. So let's go over what we have a little bit here. Right up front, we have some carrots, we have some grapes, 3 pretty ripe bananas, a basket of apples, 20 plus pounds of potatoes, some chicken thigh and leg quarters, a basket of onions, and we also have 2 bags of onions back there. And we have some chicken breast in the Ziploc bag and chicken breast here. We're going to be probably putting those into freezer meals for the upcoming weeks. I like to do at least once a week, have a crock pot meal in the freezer ready to go. And then right behind the chicken, right there, is 3 pounds of ground turkey. And then we have 3 of the big blocks of cheese. We have mozzarella. This is Colby Jack. Yep, Colby Jack. And then some cheddar. And we're going to shred those. Then we have this pile of celery, which is an example of what happens when Mom forgets to check the crisper drawer before she goes grocery shopping, apparently a couple of times, and then you wind up with a bunch of celery and some that's not looking so great, but there's definitely usable food there and we're not going to waste it. Then we have sweet corn is still in season here, so we have 10 ears of sweet corn, and we have 2 heads of broccoli. That's probably just going to get washed, broke up, and put in the fridge for fresh eating. A lot of these carrots are also going to be peeled and put in the fridge, but I want the peels because this chicken is going to become a bunch of chicken broth. And we're going to go over that here in a second. And my plan is over this week, I will turn on the camera whenever I am putting away or preserving or just prepping these things on the table. And also, I'm going to be making the next video. You don't want to miss that one because that's going to be the one where we talk about some pretty exciting upcoming things in the month of October and November. So I will see you the next time we are in the kitchen. First things I like to do when I'm doing a lot of big projects is start with things that can cook on or do their thing in the background. So let's start with this chicken. And as you just seen, these are chicken thigh leg quarter, or yes, thigh and leg quarters. And all I'm going to do with these to start out is we're just going to season them up. And then we're going to roast them off because it's all raw. And when you're making broth, it's best to have your bones cooked first. So that was just some seasoned salt. And now I have some garlic powder. Any kind of seasoning you like on your chicken. Just remember, whatever you put on your chicken here is going to go into your broth. So that's important to think about that. Is that a flavor that you want in your broth? Like chipotle or something like that. If you're making a big batch of broth, do you want that flavor in your broth? Because it will go in your broth. So this is just some onion powder. And I'm going to put pepper on, but I'm going to be very sparing. I don't like a lot of pepper in my broth. Now, I'm going to roast this off. I don't know how much of the meat I'm going to pull off. I am going to pull some of the meat off for future projects, meals. Yeah, they all turn into projects, right? So future meals, having, because a lot of people will buy a rotisserie chicken, so they have cooked chicken on hand if they want to make a quick dinner. So this way I will have a lot of cooked chicken that I can throw in the freezer, and whenever a meal calls for rotisserie chicken, I can pull out a bag of already cooked chicken and use it up. So this is going to go in the oven. It'll probably take a few hours. I'm going to throw it in at 350, and because this is the only pan that would fit all this chicken, I went ahead, because it's just a foil pan, and put a pan underneath, because these are very flimsy. If you try to pick it up, especially when it's hot and all that juice is in there, it's going to collapse on you. So I'm going to sneeze. Oh, maybe not. Anyways, as I was saying, I knew it was going to happen. All that pepper and spices, it was inevitable. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm going to roast this off in this pan. I'm going to watch it because it is sort of, it's a chicken roaster, a turkey roasting pan. I cannot talk today. So that gives you an idea of how deep it is. But I'm going to watch because, as you know, when you cook chicken, you get that really thick gelatinous broth that comes out of it. And I want to make sure that it doesn't fill my pan up and overflow. So as it cooks, periodically I'm going to check so I can remove that juice as it's needed to be removed. So I'm going to go throw this in the oven, and we'll come back and finish this broth, or get the broth on the stovetop when this chicken is finished. Since the broth is the first project on our list, there are certain vegetables that I like to put in my broth. Celery, carrots, and onions. Normally what I do is I will save the skins and use those. And I may put some chunks of the actual vegetable itself. So if I prep these, then I can get all the pieces that I don't necessarily use for cooking or eating, and we will throw those in our broth. So I got, I'm gonna throw the onion across the room. I got my chopper, and if you've been here for long, you've seen me use this 1,000 times. It's just a chopper, but what I like about it is it has a really big bowl. And it also has another one of these really big bowls, and it has a salad spinner. And I will link where I got this down below, so you can get yours there if you'd like. And I think I did not get this one on Amazon, but like I said, I'll link it down below if you want to get it. And it's not sponsored. I don't get anything from it. I just love it. And so I'm going to be using that. I'm going to start with the celery. As you can see on this part of the celery, that's pretty rotten. I'm not going to use that in the broth. I'm just going to chop that part off and throw that away. Anything that's going in my broth is going to go in here. And now this bottom root ball on this celery, I want to make sure you can see, that part is going into the broth. So I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm just going to cut that into fourths, just so it fits in the pan with the broth better. Now you don't have to put anything. I make more of a stock, but you don't have to. If you're making bone broth, you don't have to put vegetables in. That's completely up to you. But in my chicken stock, I like to use it for soups, and I like to have vegetables in there. It's just more of a classic chicken stock flavor. Alrighty, and these heart pieces, I'm going to go ahead and throw those in as well. those have a lot of good, strong celery flavor. I might just cut that one in half. Alrighty. And now I can cut them into pieces that will fit into the chopper, because as you can see, the part that chops is only so big. But I'm going to go ahead, chop up the other two celery bundles and get them ready to go through the chopper. I'm sure you've seen people use these choppers 100 times, but for anybody who hasn't, this is how it goes. The food is on the blade and you just press the handle down and your food is chopped. Pretty damn darn wonderful. Excuse me, hopefully they don't flag me for that. Oh, come on. I mean, we're all adults here, right? My mom will probably laugh because she knows that I sometimes don't always say the right thing. There we go. So we're not going to do take a lot of time on this. The chopper definitely cuts down my time in the kitchen. So I won't make you watch me chop every single bit or peel everything. But I'm going to go ahead, process down all these onions and carrots, and then we will go over what we're going to do with them. As you can see, the celery is all chopped up. I'm going to go ahead and flash freeze that. I'm going to do that the same thing for the onions and the carrots. I'm going to flash freeze them. Then I'm going to bag them up, and that way I will have vegetables for upcoming soups because it is September. How exciting. I cannot wait for the weather to actually cool down. We've had a couple of fall starts, but I know fall is coming, and I, for one, and am here for it. I do live in the South, so we don't get terrible winters. We do get winter because I'm in the Mid-South, but it's not like where I grew up in Michigan where you get buried in snow. So I'm excited. I can't wait for sweater weather and soup weather. So I am getting ready for it. I'm making broth and I'm getting my veggies ready, and my chicken I'm going to have some chicken prepared for quick and easy soups. I'm just so excited. Who else is excited for fall? Tell me down below. So I was able to get 15.5 quarts of chicken broth, and it is a gorgeous color of chicken broth. Look at that. Beautiful golden. I hope it comes through on the camera. And then I have never canned corn before, so I went ahead and I did actually 5 jars of corn. However, the 5th one did not seal. Yes, I did reuse jars that I had from previous canned food that I bought from the store. I've done that for years, and I have very few failures. I think this is only the 2nd time I've had one not seal. So, and I've been doing it for 7 years. So, you know, you just have to do what you trust, do your research, make sure that you're doing things safe, and always check that the seal was good. If not, then you have to decide what you want to do from there. So that's what I did with the chicken and the veggie scraps that I showed you. The vegetables, I told you I was going to go ahead and chop those all up. I did. I put them in the freezer, and then I bagged them up, put them back in the freezer. So now we have broth and we have vegetables for future soups. So that's very exciting. And I've canned my soups before. I've not had good luck with the flavor. I'm sure I probably could tweak it some more, but my husband and I talked, and we both came to agreement that it's just better to can the ingredients separate or to freeze them separate. And then when it's time, you literally just pour everything in a pot, heat it up, because everything is ready to go. So that's what I'm going to do from now on. I am going to can some chicken. I don't think I'm going to can any chicken this week because I need to make a few freezer meals, crock pot freezer meals. I like to have at least 4 of those a month in the freezer, so that way on the weekends when things are quite busy, I can just throw something in the crock pot real quick. So what is left? All right, I went ahead and went back and rewatched some of the video from earlier this week. So in the beginning, we had carrots and onions, broccoli, celery, potatoes, grapes, apples, chicken, turkey, bananas, and I believe that was all that was on our list of things to process. So the broccoli, I went ahead and I just broke it down into pieces that we can eat in the fridge. The carrots, you've seen what I did with those, and the celery and the onions, I just put them through the chopper, put them in soup-sized pieces, and flash froze them and threw them in my freezer in bags after they were flash frozen. The soup, I just showed you, the chicken and the peelings from the carrots, celery, and onions all went into my chicken broth. And then the corn, oh, I forgot to say corn. We had 10 ears of corn, and I went ahead and shucked those, cut them off the cobs, and canned them as I just showed you. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with the fruit, the apples, the bananas, and the grapes yet. It's going to be something, especially the bananas, in the next day or two that I'm going to figure it out, and I will bring you along for that. Then I'm going to wrap this video up and post it probably on Monday for everybody, Sunday or Monday for everyone to see. I think I'm going to do that this week, or it'll be next week, and the following week, and then when we get into October, things are going to change up a little bit. I'm really super excited. I'm not going to share that with you in this video, but in the next video, I'm going to share what we're going to do. So let's finish up, and then we'll move on from all the food prep. Oh, and I did forget to say, the chicken and the ground turkey that I do have left in the fridge, some of it I made into taco meat. I usually take 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds, and I turn it into taco meat, and then we'll have that for dinner, and then I'll throw 2 portions of it in the freezer, because we do have tacos about 4 times a month, and we don't always have like traditional tacos, but I do like to have some in the freezer, some meat in the freezer for that, or quick easy lunches, whatever we need it for. But I'm going to turn what's left of the chicken into some freezer meals, as I just said a minute ago. And then the rest of the ground turkey is going to be turned into meatballs for some future freezer meals as well.